morning. It's April 11th, 2024, and I'm interviewing Diane Dugan Brondson, and I am Faith Ellis, the interviewer. So, Diane, thank you very much for making the time for this. Let's start with your year of birth and your place of birth.
I was born in 1943 in Brockton, Massachusetts.
Okay. And tell me about your parents. First, tell me their names and then what their occupations were.
Well, my mother was Dorothea Dugan, and she was basically a housewife, but she did teach sewing at night school.
Hmm. And your father?
Oh, he had a construction business.
Okay. And how is it that you ended up in Brewster?
Well, they, my father was born in Brewster, but when they were married, apparently after it was during the war, so it was never clear how they changed residences, but my mother lived in Whitman with me
Hmm.
until I was 4 months old, and
Okay.
they moved to Brewster.
Okay. So tell me a bit. The Dugan name is a very well-known name here in town. So can you give me a bit of family connections to the Dugan name?
Well, my grandfather and grandmother and that family were here, lived here for many years,
Mhm.
and we of course here for many years too.
Yeah. I have a question that with regard to the library, not the library, the Brewster Historical Society has a very large collection of photos, the Caro Dugan collection. Are you related to that in some way?
I don't think so, but it's never been quite clear
Okay.
who we're actually related to.
Okay.
But my grandfather came here, I think, around the turn of the century. A little. He was originally from the Azores.
Oh my.
He was a
Interesting.
cabin boy, apparently, 14, and set off on a ship to the western Gold Coast looking in California for gold.
Hmm.
And whatever he found, he came back here with, set up shop. And
Interesting.
he was a cranberry farmer. He had lots of cranberry bogs. And he he did pretty well with them, I would assume.
So there's a lot of down Lower Road, there's a number of parcels of land that have the Dugan name on them. Is that affiliated with your family?
Yes, they that was well. The cranberry bogs need water, right?
Right.
You have to and so that they're all in places where there was swampland.
Yeah. So that Lower Road is perfect.
The road was perfect,
Yeah. Interesting.
and really not suitable for building any new homes or anything.
Right.
It wouldn't reach the requirements for conservation. So my family gave the land to the town.
Yes. Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Um, so let's talk about your childhood. Um, where's the house that you grew up in?
It's about a mile up the street here,
Hmm.
1350 Main Street.
Okay. And it's currently the house with the big sign in front
Yeah,
of it with the
yeah,
grist mill on it
yes.
and celebrating 90 years
Apparently
of excavation
of
business.
excavating. Yeah.
Yes. Um, so tell me about your hobbies as a child.
Oh, I liked reading.
Okay.
I liked swimming. I liked school. That isn't a hobby, but that was something I liked. was fun,
Mhm.
usually.
Yeah. Who were some of your friends?
Well, my best friend in elementary school was Susan Hay, and I can't remember, there were 17 kids in my class,
Mhm.
and there were more girls than boys, but it was pretty evenly divided.
And you went to the elementary school where the current town offices are?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And is Susan Hay related to John Hay?
Yes, his daughter.
Oh, is she the oldest of his children?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think she came in the 5th grade.
Hmm.
That's when they moved here.
Okay. Um, so let's talk about a bit about school. Who are some of the teachers that are particularly memorable to you?
Well, we always remember Mrs. Dunn because she was probably the best teacher we had.
Hmm. Any, I had her as well.
Did you?
Do you, when I remember certain things that she taught us, do
Oh,
you have
yeah.
any memories of
Yeah.
particular sayings
Oh
that she
yeah,
had?
Ruay, February. That's how you spell it. Yeah, she had some things that stick with you.
One for me is not is an adverb.
Not as
Like we used to chant it. Not is an adverb, and I will never forget. Oh my goodness, that's
she was pretty I'd say strict, but in a good calming way.
mhm. And her focus was on English and grammar,
Yeah,
and you loved reading.
not reading was
Perfect.
yeah.
Um, any other teachers that did you have Mrs. Livesey or
Oh, I did, yes.
so you went first grade all the way through
The 8th grade,
to eighth
yeah,
grade?
with the same teachers.
Hmm. Do you remember anything about your graduation ceremony or memorizing? Did you have to memorize things?
I don't remember that part. I remember it was a very pretty day
Hmm.
and sunny and
Yeah, yeah.
summery.
Um, were you musical? Did you play an instrument?
I played the violin. My mother took me to Orleans. I was a student of Mrs. Carmen, and I really didn't like to play the violin, but I was good at it, but I did, it wasn't something I
Yeah.
really loved doing.
Hmm.
And what was I going to say?
Was
Oh, I went to a funeral the other day,
hmm.
last week, and they had a choir with the person playing the violin. It was beautiful. It was just beautiful.
Hmm.
And I remember that one Easter, I did play the violin at the church in East Brewster, and somebody played the organ. And I was thinking it was too bad I gave it up
Oh,
because, you appreciate it more later on.
yes, yes. Did you where did you go to high school?
I went to Dennis Sharmas High School.
Okay, can you explain that? Some kids went to Orleans and some kids went to DY. Why did you decide on DY?
Well, I don't think that I particularly decided. I think my parents decided. And I can sort of remember it was a little bit of a conundrum. Um, they, think it was basically decided that I live closer to Dennis Yarmouth than the nurse at school,
Hmm.
and that was one of the considerations. Another one I know I can remember my mother saying that Marie Dugan, who was on the school board at that time, thought that it was a bigger school and it probably offered more classes and that sort of thing for students that maybe this size was better.
Hmm. And did you continue your music into high school?
Oh, no. No, I didn't.
Okay. Um, what sort of organizations did you belong to, like Girl Scouts or,
Oh, yes, Girl Scouts.
and tell me about Girl Scouts in Brewster.
Girl Scouts was good. Every time we get the cookies, we, we had our cookies we had to sell. And yeah, I liked Girl Scouts, and our leader was Hilda Chase, Barbara Chase's mom. And it was pretty good. And she was very good.
Yeah.
And not pretty good, she was very good. And we got to do, my mother was involved in getting camper trips for girls. And we would go to the Girl Scout camp in Plymouth
Oh,
as a result of that for a week or two
yeah.
in the summer.
And do you remember the name of that camp? Was it Camp Wind in the Pines?
I think it was.
Yeah, it was beautiful. I went there.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Right on a beautiful pond.
The pond,
Yeah.
swimming, canoeing.
Yeah.
So great.
Yeah. So you said one of your hobbies as a child was swimming. How did you learn how to swim?
Well, probably at the beach. Yeah, I guess I did. My mother actually was in charge of hiring the swimming instructor for the town.
Okay.
And they had a committee, and she was one of the three people, I believe, on the committee. And they would hire a student, usually a college student, to teach the kids how to swim. And she was very adamant that we all learn to swim because it was too dangerous not to do that. And
Right.
we would go, all summer long to all classes, following the tides. We have to, of course, the tide's different every day.
Do you remember some of the swim instructors?
I remember, yeah, there was a fellow from Wellfleet. I can't think of his name. And then there was a girl whose grandmother lives over in East Dennis, and I can't think of her name, but she was from another Cape area.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. When I was a kid, we used to alternate high tide weeks on the bay, and then when it was low tide on the bay in the morning, we would end up going to the state park.
Right. Yes.
Is that what you did as well?
Yeah.
And what was the most advanced designation that you got?
I got lifesaver. I did. Thank God I didn't actually have to save anything.
Yes. So yeah.
That was not easy.
No, I agree. I remember that very, very distinctly. Um, on your neighborhood, you lived right next door to I remember it as the Tip Top House.
Yes.
Do you have memories about your neighborhood and your environs?
Well, the shop house was it was a guest house,
Mm-hmm.
and it was I made I made a friend there one because of course people would come with one child, and what do they do, right? It's hard to keep them entertained all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember one day we went over to where the Cape Cod Nut Mall is now, and that was a special place there for kids. And it's hard to believe I have in my antique store, I have the, the signs for it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And I'm surprised when people come in and remember it, and they can't think of the name.
It's not Frontierland, is it?
No, it's something like that. But
Yeah. Interesting.
it'll come to me.
Yeah.
In about 2 hours.
Um, did you, when you got to a certain age, did you have summer jobs?
Yes, my first summer job was, was part-time, of course. I was remembering that the other day was Mrs. Lund needed some help, and I went down there at dinner time because she had house guests, um, and I would serve them dinner. She would cook the most fabulous meals. Oh, she was a wonderful cook.
Mm-hmm.
And it was always very hearty because she was feeding her husband who had just come home from the dairy farm with sometimes one of her grandchildren, another fellow, one of the Gages,
Mm-hmm.
Tommy Gage, I think. Uh, she fed him. I'm sure it was worth every penny, whatever it was, because she just said it was a wonderful cook.
So just for clarity of folks who may not know, the house that you're talking about is currently a bed and breakfast named Candleberry Inn,
Correct.
right in the center of town.
Yeah,
And that Lund family lived there.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
And also they were selling their milk there too. If you ran out of milk, you would run down to Lunds, and they had a refrigerator in the doorway, and you could get you just pick up your milk you want. And of course, it was always very rich and creamy.
Right. So again, to back up a little bit, because this is an interesting sidebar, is Ole Lund, who
Yeah.
was married to Mrs. Lund, had a farm up off what is now known as Millstone Road, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, and the road into it is currently called Lund Farm Way.
Correct.
But he had a farm up there and he sold milk.
Yeah, and I think I'm not sure about if this is factual or not, but a lot of it was bought by the Ocean Edge people. And I think that there are a lot of houses. I don't know because I don't go in there, but
Yeah, but there are quite a few houses in there and it is adjacent to Ocean Edge.
yeah.
So,
I think they bought
yeah.
the farm. They bought the farm.
So one thing I know about you is you had a long relationship with the Drummer Boy Museum.
Right.
Can you talk about that?
Sure. Well, I got out of school one, summer. I think I was 18. We got out of school and everybody got a job right between semesters.
Mm-hmm.
And they opened, they were opening the museum, so I went up there and I got a job.
And can you describe the museum?
Yes, it was long and very long and narrow, and they had I can't remember how many paintings, but I'd say a dozen life-size paintings of important events in the American Revolution.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a little tour book that we went through and explained some of the lesser known events
Mm-hmm.
and how they coalesced together
Mm-hmm.
to bring about the positive results of the American Revolution.
So tell me about the McGowans. How did this? How did they come up with this idea for this museum? Do you?
Well, it was just Mr. McGowan,
Mm-hmm.
Tony as they called him, Mr. as I call him. I don't know. Was a Washington lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
He actually was. I think he told me represented Greyhound bus lines. And he was very patriotic. And I don't know how he thought of it, but he did all the research because he was in Washington and he could go through, to the Library of Congress all the time and stuff like that. Them doing his research was his assistant. And I don't know how he originally thought of it, but he spent many hours driving up and down the coast of the United States looking for a good place to put it, and he was able to find that location. I'm sure at a reasonable rate at those times. But when he bought it, it was it had a map that showed he could have like I don't know how many huge number. Why don't I say 100 little cottages on it? So he really saved that section of the highway.
So just again to explain what we're talking about, in West Brewster on Route 6A, there's a park called Drummer Boy Park, and the town owns a part of it. The Brewster Historical Society has a part of it, and Brewster Conservation Trust. But the name of the park, Drummer Boy Park, is a reference back to this museum that Mr. McGowan started and that you were involved with.
Yes. And in addition to the museum itself, which is pretty large, if for those life-size canvases, they were huge. And the Drummer Boy park was named for one of the Drummer Boy in one of the paintings. I guess the artist painted him first, and he was very prominent and kind of jumped out at you. And I guess that's where that part came from.
Interesting. So, are there any stories that you would recall related to the museum or paintings?
Nothing particular.
And tell me if this is true. I had heard a rumor that one of the people in a painting was painted to look like a politician, a particular politician.
I don't know that.
Okay, then
So I don't think that's true, but maybe I was unaware of who it was.
you would know far better than I. So I know that you trained a lot of the docents.
Yeah.
So Sally Gunning being one of them.
Right. Work with Sally was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I think you trained my sister Patty.
Yeah. We had I don't know, we had 5 or 6 maybe different girls every year who came and took the people on the tours.
Yeah. So how long did you work for the museum?
I was there for about 11 years. Yeah, until I had my first child, and then it became not possible.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So one of the couple of places that you were near when you were growing up here, one was the gristmill.
Yeah.
And one was the town dump.
Yes.
Any stories related to either of those?
No, I didn't spend much time at either place.
When I've asked this question of some of the men who grew up in Brewster, they have a lot of dump stories and rat shooting.
Rat shooting, yes, no, we didn't shoot any. I didn't shoot any rats. I hardly ever went there. The only kind of interesting thing is they used to burn the dump, and they have a huge fire, and that smoke would come wafting down over to your home at night was unpleasant.
Yeah.
So that was good. They got rid of that. They figured out how to do it better.
Are there people from your childhood or young adulthood, Brewster people that had an influence on your life?
I suppose there were.
I'm running through my roster of folks. Like, how frequently did you go to the general store, for example, to Donald
Oh, I
Duck's
mean,
store?
there were like a zillion characters.
So,
Donald Doan is, of course, I always call it Donald Doan store,
mhm,
Ken's Market. We can't get out of the past there.
right. So name some other characters that sort of float through your head. You mentioned one of the Gages.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I didn't, they were older than I was.
Mhm,
I didn't really hang out with them.
mhm.
I know them that much.
So after high school, what was your next step?
Oh, I went to the community college and I worked at the drummer boy.
Mhm. And one of the things that would be interesting to talk about is, can you compare the Brewster you grew up in to Brewster now?
Night and day.
So let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, quite different. Yeah, it's changed dramatically. It's much more sophisticated now, and because of all the different people who have migrated here from the cities,
Mhm,
and I think it started right in the maybe late '60s, early '70s.
mhm.
The whole place changed in nature. It was very rural, and it was. I was thinking about that today. That when I went to Dennis Yarmouth High School, it was there were 17 kids in my elementary school class, grades 1 to 8, same 17. Maybe it varied once, one or two. Somebody would take in a foster child or something.
Yeah.
And it would vary, maybe one or two, but it was basically 17 years. It was 17 students for the first 8 years. Then when I went to Dennis Yarmouth High School, my class was 125, so that was quite a change.
And are you still in touch with some of your high school friends?
Not really. We just get away from them.
And who were some of your other Brewster classmates? Like, who were some of the young men that you were classmates with?
Let's see, Chucky Hopkins,
Okay.
Gilbert Ellis,
Yeah.
Reggie Clark.
So John Ellis would have also been in your
Oh,
class.
John Ellis was
Yeah.
in my class.
Yeah.
And I worked at the Registry of Deeds for like 18 years, and he used to come in a lot because he had the business
A surveyor.
surveying. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see. I said Gilbert Ellis, right?
Yes.
Can we get all the Ellises?
There are a lot of us.
Well, so Roger Dickey, I think he passed away
Yeah.
at an early age.
Yeah.
I don't think there were any of the boys that I can think of.
Mhm.
There weren't as many boys as girls.
Currently, your antique business is in a house that used to be owned by Donald House.
Yes.
Can you talk a bit about that house?
That house,
It's very old, isn't it?
yeah, I think I had an architectural archivist was in my shop one day, and he said the barn was built in 1830,
Wow.
and so I assumed the house was the same.
Yeah. Is there a basement under it?
And then the house, yes,
Yeah.
it's not someplace you'd want to stay long.
Um, is it haunted?
I don't think so. Some of the people we rented it to come back.
Came back.
Yeah, it was like any old house of that nature. It really is definitely requiring some re- rehabilitation.
Well, it's just, I think anyone who has an antique house is a lot of work and
Yes,
maintenance.
with an empty year.
Yeah. And it needs to be lived in.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, it's very, and those old houses always didn't have insulation, so they tend to be cool in the
right.
winter and hot in the summer.
Yes.
And in that particular point, in that particular area, the wind comes off the bay and just slams into the building.
Right. Right.
It's not exactly a comfort zone.
What other memories of town and people have you been thinking about?
Well, I was listening to your Dana Condon interview, and you mentioned the old lady,
Yes.
and people. She was a scary individual.
Well, she lived near you, didn't
Yeah,
she?
she lived.
So tell us what you know, because you might know more than
What you found? Yeah, she was
her name was Edith Fuller.
Fuller, and she was apparently from one of the Fuller families in Boston. She had a important background, but she wore a heavy winter coat and rubber boots all year long. Even on the hottest day in the summer, she'd be wearing, and even a wool scarf, if you could believe that.
Mm.
And she had a group of goats. I don't know how many goats she had, but we would hear the little bells ringing, and they would parade by the houses on their way to the dump to for lunch, I guess.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, I only.
Did she live alone or did she?
Oh no, she had her husband. I can't think of his name offhand. But apparently he went out for a quart of milk one day and never came back.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that was the rumor. I don't. It was. She was scared. She was a little intimidating to say.
Well, in hindsight, do you think she had?
I think she was just eccentric.
Okay.
I don't think she was. I don't know. There must be some reason she acted in that manner, but I just think she was eccentric. I think she was probably quite brilliant.
I have heard her described that way as just really, really smart and odd.
Yeah.
Capital O.
Yeah. Who would wear these heavy woolen long men's coat, like the long man's dress coat on a 80-degree day, walking their goats along 6A.
Oh my goodness.
To get to the for feeding time at the zoo.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, she was very unusual. like I I listened to Dana Kahn, says I said his interview, and he had a lot more interesting people in his little conclave up there at the old mill.
Well, and we all, your neighborhood was essentially what you could walk or ride your bike to.
Yeah,
So that was your sphere of
yeah,
play or
yeah.
whatever. So, um, did you interact much with the summer folks, with summer people?
Not particularly, only maybe once we met at the beach.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah. So you've been in the antique business for a very long time.
yeah.
How has that changed over the years?
Well, uh, it was more lucrative in the early years.
Yeah. Do you specialize in a particular?
No, we have a lot of different things. We try to have something for everybody.
Mhm. But it's different now.
Well, when I started out, um, which was probably at uh, about 20 years ago, it could have been longer. I first had a couple of booths at the Dennis Antique Center,
Mhm.
and when I was working at the courthouse in Barnstable, and when I'd come home after work, I'd stop in and bring new items and so forth to the antique center. Excuse me, and then the Donald house became available, and of course my son thought I should buy it, so we bought it.
Mhm.
Bought the farm, as they say. It was it's a lot of work.
Right. It's a very prominent spot on 6A.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Excuse me, it's hard to find this winter. I went over there a lot. I live in Chatham, so I have to drive over, and I found it was a lot less appealing to drive over this year
Because of the
weather.
oh,
Yeah, because that's all these old houses and yards are not insulated,
right.
so
Yeah.
we do have a heat and a furnace in the barn, but the floors never get warm because they're cement,
Right.
so it gets a little yippy.
Did you ever skate on Schoolhouse Pond?
Yes.
What do you remember about that? Was it a school thing? I don't even know how it happened.
No, yeah, that's an interesting thing I thought about the other night. We did skate on Schoolhouse Pond, but it was just because the winters first, I don't think were as cold as they are now. Even though this was sort of a more moderate winter,
Hmm.
we didn't have ice. But one year, Mr. Burris, who was our school principal, we did get some very cold weather, and he did. There was ice on a pond behind the elementary school, which is the town hall now,
Hmm.
and he would let us kind of forget school and go skating.
Well, that's fun.
Yeah, if you brought your skates, and of course most of us didn't have skates because it was never that, we really had ice. But whenever we had ice, people
Yeah.
loved to,
Would head out skating.
yeah, we go out after school there,
Yeah. Yeah.
Schoolhouse Pond.
And when you were at Brewster Elementary School, did they have dancing classes?
They may have, I seem to remember one, yeah. I mean, they weren't long and they weren't many.
Mhm. It was just, I have a memory of dancing classes, but they're not great. They're not very strong. But
Yeah,
I know how to waltz and foxtrot. And
yeah,
I think I learned it at Brewster Elementary School.
oh, you never know. Yeah, it was, yeah, I think I remember dancing was one of the, because as I said, there were more girls than boys, so it was, if there were a more even number, it would have been better
Yeah.
learning to dance. And I was tall, so I couldn't dance with a little short guy. Not that there were any.
Yes, that's fun. Okay, well, I think unless there's something else you wanna talk about, um, I think I'd like to just thank you for your time and your memories, and so glad that you could come in and share this with us.
Oh, well, thank you. I was happy to do it.
Wonderful. Okay, thank you.